Just My Thoughts, episode 13. Today's episode is going to be called Break the Cycle. And I got my guy, my dog, Prince Dukes.
The guy.
What up, G?
Can't complain, bro.
Yes, sir. It's good to see you. I'm happy you came, man.
Always.
Yeah. First off, let me just get to it, man. I'm proud of you.
Appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, man.
Sometimes, everybody, they think that, because we doing stuff that we supposed to do, we don't need to hear it. Sometimes.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's cool to just hear it.
Facts. I'm when I can tell you 1,000 times, but yeah, when I made this work, I was down and I wrote a lot of notes and I realized, I'm proud of myself. And then I had good friends like Tynell, Dre, everybody in my inner circle who I'm looking at them. I'm like, you know what, I got reasons to tell y'all that you have reasons that you should be proud of yourself, and I need to tell that and express that.
That's a fact.
So I think it's important, especially just man to man, that we do hear that and that people do that. If nobody gonna do it, I know I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, because not for nothing, us growing up younger, we never seen anybody tell each other that they proud of it. So for us to get older and be like, yo, you know what, bro, I'm proud of you, bro. Don't stop doing what you're doing. Don't let nobody discourage you or tell you you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Just keep doing what you're doing.
Truth. And I think the things that I do know about you, because I know you to think 10 years now. I bet you were when you were 16, man.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah. So crazy.
12 years ago.
12. Word.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah. And I've always I've always taken a liking to you, and we were talking on camera, and it's it's been an unspoken thing. I never really expressed it to you. Yo, I don't know what it is, but I rock with you.
It's certain people, bro, you gonna run into some people in the world that you didn't actually grow up with them, but when you meet them, it's y'all was meant to meet each other.
Yeah.
It's just a good vibe.
Real talk.
And that energy that you give me that I'm gonna give you is just mutual.
Word
it's
up.
not when you leave, I'm yo, there's something weird about him. Everything is just a vibe. We could sit down and we don't even realize we just done talk for an hour.
Facts. Yeah, that's real. And one of my, I've told people this, one of my most, my potent memory of you, was when I started dealing with the camera. I'm yo, Prince was one of the first people. I got to take pictures of his son, which Preston don't even remember. I wanted to tell him man, I took pictures of you long ago.
We took the pictures in the park, and me, Angie, and Preston in the basketball court that time. And then me and you did the video.
Yes, sir.
With the football joint in the field.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's another thing. Yeah. That was my first athletic shoot. That's the first time I ever did anything like that.
I don't remember which one we did first, but I remember.
It was a football one.
It was a football joint, and then we did the pictures.
And I love that video. Honestly, man, I don't even have that joint no more.
I still got it.
You got to send it.
Yeah, I don't know if I could save it, but I still have it on social media.
Yeah. Well, record it.
Yeah, I'm
or send me the direct message.
I got you.
Yeah. So all right, yeah. The main reason I wanted to talk to you, I had all this work cooked up for a long time, and I had the pleasure of being at your wedding, which I think was real dope to see you do it. I think anytime I see man to man, especially black men, just taking that step, trying to build that in that fashion, I got a lot of I get it hits here because I got to reap the benefits of having that. I didn't know when I was a kid, but I really lucked up having two people that came together and cared. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And not everybody is fortunate enough to have that. But the main thing that I remember, which had me oh yeah, one day I'm gonna ask him, and I hope he's open to this. The main thing that made me want to talk to you on this platform was you said, and I remember it. You was talking, and you said, that's what I always wanted. I always wanted to be a provider. And when I hear that, I think about my dad, and I think about all the things that he did that I didn't even realize. He was going hard for me. And I just want to ask you, where does that's a powerful statement to me, right? And it means a lot to me. I can say it over and over again. I can't really give you the feeling when I hear things like that. But it's where does that come from?
So growing up, it was just my mom's. And she did everything. Whatever we needed, we didn't have it all, but what we needed, not what we wanted, but what we needed, she made sure we had it. So I was dang, something felt like it was missing though still.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yo, when my grandfather, my dad's dad, he got up 5 o'clock in the morning every day. Food was done, breakfast, coffee made for my grandmoms. His kids was older when I was seeing this. Like my dad and them was older. But my grandfather just got up 70-something years old. He still provided. Mm-hmm. My grandfather ain't stopped working until he was 70 plus years old. Mm-hmm. So that just put something in my brain, like it just drilled something in my head. He always used to take me outside with him, change hubcaps on rims and stuff like that. So I'm like, yo, I want my kids to know what it feels like to have somebody give them everything. Yeah. What they need and what they want, because in reality, I ain't have that. Yeah. Like, I had everything I needed, but I ain't have what I wanted. Mm-hmm. And sometimes growing up when you're a kid, like, you gotta get what you want sometimes. Facts. Not all the time, but it's cool to get what you want.
Keeps you alive a little bit.
Yeah, like, it keeps a drive in you. Like, and, like, there was times where I was bad as hell, bro. Like, I wasn't, like, really good in school. Like, I went to school and was bad. Mm-hmm. That's all I was doing. Mm-hmm. But then when I started playing football in high school, I started getting good grades a little bit. But I wasn't rewarded for it. Mm-hmm. Even though that's what you were supposed to do. Yeah. But I wasn't rewarded for it. But I heard other kids talk about, yo, my mom's bought me this or my dad bought me this because I got a such and such on the report card. Yeah. I wasn't rewarded for it. So I said, why keep doing it if I'm not getting rewarded for it?
Yeah. I hear that.
So it just just coming from where I came from, like growing up, seeing my friends that had dads and not even people that I even knew that just had dads, like it was different for them. Yeah. So I'm like, when I have my kids, they are never gonna want or need for nothing. Yeah. And it's kicking me now because my son is spoiled as hell. But I would not change it for nothing, bro. Yeah. Like I get up 4 o'clock in the morning for work and I'm gonna make sure my kids got whatever they want. Yeah. Whatever they need. Mm-hmm. My bills is gonna be paid, everything's gonna be taken care of. I'm gonna make sure. Even if I gotta turn to another alternative to get the money to get it done, I'm gonna get it done. Because that's just what's in my brain to do. Yeah. I don't want my wife to be like my mom's. My moms ain't have nobody to assist her on nothing. Yeah. Everything that me and my brothers and sisters know, we know from my moms. Yeah. My mom's had the hustler mentality. We got that from my moms. Mm-hmm. Me being tough and all of that, I got that from my dad. I'll never take that from my pops. Mm-hmm. But my moms gave me that drive because I seen what my moms was going through. Yeah. That drove me to do things way different. Yeah. So it motivates you to a whole different kind of level.
Yeah. That's an amazing thing. Man, you said a lot. And honestly, like I told you off camera, like a lot of this content is inspired by my dad. Like I can't hold you. Like I actually grew up, and I hate sometimes like when I bust a tear on my lonely, like because at one point, I used to really not want a dad. You know what I mean?
That's tough. And
I didn't want a dad, like I told you off camera, because I got to see all the kids that I knew they was doing what they wanted at the time. Like you said, the want as a kid. I'm like, why? Like, for instance, when kids was getting Jordans, I got Shaqs. I didn't understand that, it's a shoe. You know what I mean? Like, you need a shoe. Mm-hmm. It's cheap. And it's not the most stylish, okay, but my whole life in comparison to most of the kids that I knew, which I didn't know that back then, was vastly different, and so as I got older and I hit a point in my life where I'm like, I really need my dad, but I don't need him to give me things right now. Right now I need that guidance. Mm-hmm. I need that structure. I need somebody giving me that pat on the back that we just talked about. And that's what pretty much happened. My pops, he's a tough dude. If he came through this door, I tell everybody, if he came through this door right now, you wouldn't even know if he liked you or not. Because he's going to say hello and that's it. Like, you know what I mean? Then he's going to look at me, he's going to get to work and that's it. And, I as a kid and all throughout my teenage years, I really didn't, I loved him, but I didn't like him. Because we didn't really talk. I felt like he didn't understand me. But now I see in the back of his mind, he's like, you don't even know, like without me, you'd be here and you wouldn't even have the things you had. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't even be able to. I was fortunate most of my cousins, they started working at jobs. You know, I was working at a summer camp at 15, 16, but you know, I didn't have to work 8-hour shifts at 16. I didn't have to get my own shoes, my own shirt. I didn't have to do all that. I ain't thinking like, I'm thinking it's just, I'm me, I'm special, you know? But maybe the only thing, quote unquote, special or like in the form of privilege that I had was a guy that cared. You know, and I had my mom. Love my mom. My mom is the reason for all this creative stuff. Like, she always pushed me in that regard. But you do hit a point as a man where it's like, yo, I need some that man energy. There's certain things like that you know, it just hits you like, yo, I can't learn this from you right here. Like, and and kind of like you expressed with your grandfather, like you just watching the work, you know. And when I see my dad now, you know, he'll still do OT on a Saturday, excuse me. That's 55 hours a week. I'm doing 40. I'm like, nah, I gotta do something else. My son's still kicking. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's still going. So I like that. You know, I like that you're able to put all that in perspective. And
see, like, another thing is like they paint this narrative of a black man. Oh, this is how a black man is gonna come up. He's gonna go to jail or he's gonna be dead. And it was like, I love my brothers and sisters to death. My older brother, that's right above me, he's locked up right now. My brother that's right underneath me is dead. So like that just did something to my head. Like it don't sit right with me.
Yeah.
And like I just confessed this to my mom and my wife like 3 days ago, and I actually said I was going to share it when I came and sat down with you. Like, I be having these dreams like twice a week, and it'd be like in the dream it'd be me who I am right now, and then in the mirror it'd be like a dude like look like the Grim Reaper. Be like he'd be all black with a hoodie on, and when the dude in the mirror takes the hoodie off, it's just me.
What does that mean to you?
It's like my brother dying don't ever sit right with me.
Yeah.
I accepted it.
Yeah.
But it don't sit right with me. But then like my kids deserve me to be here with them.
Yeah.
You feel me? So like if I ain't have everything I got right now, I don't even know if I'll still be here.
Yeah.
Because my brother's death just don't make no sense.
What up?
Like why is my brother, everybody say, oh yeah, everything happens for a reason. God put him in a better place. How was a better place not here with his family? He was 17 years old.
I feel that.
You feel me? So it's like they paint the narrative of that's how we're going to be when we get a certain age. We're not going to make it to 18. We're either going to be a number or 6 feet. So why not show them that we could be something other than that?
Facts.
And that's what I'm trying to show my kids. Like yeah, I'm going to share my stories with my sons. Like, yeah, there was bad things happening around me. I tried to stay away from it. I did stay away from it, but I couldn't duck it.
Yeah.
There was bad things happening every day. Every day I went outside, sat on the bench. Ain't no telling what was gonna happen. Yeah, my mom used to say, oh, don't be sitting on that bench when the lights go out. But when the lights went out, I was still sitting on the benches because that's what I knew how to do. It was fun. It was exciting. It was scary, but everything I went through in my life has made me what I am today.
Yeah.
So like if they'd be like, oh, if you could go back and tell your 15-year-old self something, what would you tell him? I wouldn't tell him nothing. I wouldn't tell him a damn thing. Make your mistakes, learn. Because him making those mistakes and learning has got me where I am today. Let's say I can go back and tell him something, and I tell him like, yo, keep your head down, get the work done. You're gonna go somewhere, you're gonna be big, right? Cool. All of that do happen. I go to the league, I become the person who I could have been. Where does Preston come into play? Where does my wife come into play? You feel me?
feel that.
Now those things never happen. Those are the biggest things in my life right now.
Let me interject. I rock with that.
Come on, bro.
Sometimes I'm like, yo, like, cause I always listen to my mother, cause she, you know, moms love. They always got that favor for you, right? It was my dad my whole life who I really, we didn't see eye to eye. We bumped heads a lot. Like, he said a lot of things to me that I'm like, yo, I don't like this guy. I said a lot of things to him. You know, I'm trying to figure out what is this about, right? sometimes I would ask myself the same thing. And it's funny that you say you wouldn't change a thing. Sometimes I say, like, I would listen to my father. But if I listened to my father all the way through, I wouldn't have a mind of my own. And maybe I wouldn't genuinely appreciate what I had now. Because I would have just been doing
exactly what your pops wanted you to do.
Exactly what he wanted me to do.
But who's to say what your pops wanted you to do is what you wanted to do?
Exactly. And I think that's something for him to even learn. But with his situation is that he didn't have the option. Like, he was working, he came here at 8 from Jamaica, came here at 8. First job was walking dogs at 13. 15, he's on the roof with my grandfather learning cable. He even told me a story about how one day he's like, yo, like, I'm doing cable with your grandfather, and you know, he used to tell me like, yo, Giffy, like, I can't give you money, like, I can't do it because I'm not making a lot. Like, couldn't even give him $5. 15, he's doing that. 18, he's out the door in the military. So his life was much faster than mine, right? But that's, at that time, like, that's how I was for a black man. And kind of like you said off camera, it's like the streets was an option, you know what I mean? But he had somebody who he lost to that and the impact of his family, and him seeing that, which it was his little brother, who, by the way, like, he still will shell out money to just because he love him, like, and it's just like you know, he was put in a situation too where it's like, I'm seeing this, but I don't want that. I got to go this way, and there's no time to think about it. There's no time to sit. Like, I have a lot of time. That's what. When you say your kids are spoiled, it's because they got options, right? And my father, he didn't have options. You know what I'm saying? So, kind of like you are the first to do what you're doing a bit in your family. Like, he was the first, but there was little options. So it's like, either I do this or I do this. I don't really have a choice. And I don't have time to think about it. I don't got time to talk about it. I don't got time to express it. This is just what it is. And, you know, I think that the thing is, I always wanted, because my mother would talk to me, articulate. That's where all this stuff comes from. This is why I'm like this, because I had somebody doing that with me. But with him, I always wanted that, but I didn't understand. He's like, yo, I got to grind. I got to go. Like, you don't understand. If I stop, we ain't going to have this. Like, you know what I mean? And even as you sitting, like I told you, I kept you in mind for this long time. But I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna bring Prince in. I'm gonna tell him, like, yo, your sons are gonna appreciate the hell out of you when they hit, probably, hopefully before my age. Hopefully it don't take that long. You know what I'm saying? But when you do, cause kids need that. They need, especially from a father, they need they need to be spoken to in a way where it's like, you understand me. Your son gonna do his thing. You know what I mean? And there's gonna be things you're gonna have to accept. Like, yo, like
right now, my son is 6. Like, when I was 6 years old, bro, I was outside. I knew how to ride a bike by myself. Like, my son's learning how to ride a bike by himself. But like, when I was 6, I was up late nights doing whatever. My son's 6 years old. He go to bed at 7:30. He sleeps with teddy bears. Like, my son is a kid, bro, and that's all I ever wanted for my kids. Like, just to be a kid. I didn't get, like, I got to be a kid, but it was rough. Like, fighting. Like, I was listening to Lil Durk's song, and he talked about how it was 8 of them in 3-bedroom crib. It was 14 of us in a 4-bedroom crib, bro. So, like, we always bumped heads. Me and Shugs used to fight all the time. He used to snatch my do-rags off my head. he made me tough. Like, everybody look at it as, oh, you know, it's 14 of them. Nah, it's not what y'all think. I would never, people be like, oh, if you could go back and your mom only have a little bit of kids, would you? No, I would not want to come from a small family, a small load of brothers and sisters. Having 14 brothers and sisters really made us who we are.
I hear that.
It built us to be tough, strong. My oldest brother, he was our pops. Everybody look at Day like, oh yeah, he's gay. He's a man. My brother was my dad growing up, bro. Like, when my mom was not home, my brother was making sure we had a cooked meal. Feel me? Like, and he wasn't much older than us, but he manned up. That's why when I look at Day, bro, like I just put him on a pedestal because like he really made sure we was straight, bro. Never not made sure we was eating, none of that.
Yeah.
He was cooking, no matter what it was.
Yeah.
It might have just been noodles or something, but my brother was cooking for us.
Yeah.
So everybody look at it like, oh, he was just in the street. I wasn't just in the street.
Yeah.
The streets was just there to go to.
I feel that.
And I wasn't really in the street. I just was outside. Because I wasn't running to problems. I wasn't running to beef.
Yeah.
Whatever happened when I was around, I'd indulge in it.
Yeah.
But I ain't go looking for no trouble.
Yeah.
Who wanted to get in trouble?
Yeah.
We just wanted to have fun. Everybody look at it as, oh, nah, these kids is bad.
Yeah.
Everybody always looked at my mom's kids as the problem.
Yeah. And like I told you, like it took me a while, and as my cousin told me, like, you know, I didn't realize, like, oh, the rest of my family, like, we don't have much, you know, as a group, and that's really important just in life to, you know, your loved ones, your blood, like you want them to have like that foundation laid, and many of us come from, you know. Every day I sit in this, like, every day I reflect in this house and I'm like, man, like, I have to do something great. You know what I mean? Because I now know that I lucked up. I just happen to be born in a more favorable situation, right? But even as you, going back to what you said, not changing things, like, sometimes it's like, that don't mean that you're able to grow any faster, or you're able to adopt more responsibility, or you're able to make more out of your life, you know. So to hear you even say that, like, I mean, like I said, I've known you, but I didn't know that about your older brother. Like, that's real. People are sometimes put in those situations, and kind of like I said off camera, like you got them choices to make. So it's a lot of love that he had at the time as a younger man to be like, yo, like, regardless.
I'm gonna make sure they straight.
Yeah. And so, like, for you, how do I say this? Those choices, right? What drove you away from going left? You know what I mean?
So I was always sneaky, like, when I was younger. So, like, I got involved in it, but, like, I used to try to hide being involved in it. So, like, when everybody was doing the bad stuff, like, I did it with them, but, like, I used to just do it sneakily. So, like, when everybody see me, like, oh, yeah, he's not a bad kid. But then when I did get caught being bad, it was like, oh, he really is bad. So it was like, when my grandmother died when I was going into high school, and it was like a game changer for me. Yeah. My grandmother was my heart, bro. Like, I used to sleep in the bed with my grandmother, 11, 12 years old, sleeping in the middle of her and my grandfather, my dad's parents. So she died in a fire in 2010.
Wow.
2010?
Yeah, I do want to say I remember.
2010, that was the summer that I just came to Curtis. And it just changed the whole narrative for me. Like, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna put on, like, I'm gonna dedicate this to my grandmoms. So I started, like, trying to stay away from being outside in the neighborhood all the time and just, like, really focusing on football. And then when I found, like, I never played football for real. Yeah. I got into football right before I got to high school. Okay. But it was a natural talent for me. So when I did go play, everybody favored towards me. And people was actually putting a lot of love into me when it came to football. So I used that as an outlet. But then, like, once I lost football, it was over. Yeah. I felt like a lot of people really didn't look at me like the same. I would never forget, it was one time we was at a family function and one of my uncles, he was just joking, being funny, but it hit a soft spot. He was like, oh, this is my nephew. He used to play football. He's a has-been, though. Damn. So, like, it's just like, I'm like, damn, that's how you feel? Yeah. Like, I laughed at it because it was funny, but I'm like, damn, that's crazy. Like, that's how they look at it. Like, just because I'm not playing football no more, I still got a purpose. Yeah. I just had to figure out what that was. Yeah. And actually, that happened right after my little brother died. But, like, if I had not been with my wife when my brother died and not having her and then her getting pregnant, like a lot of things would have went differently. Because like when my brother died, like there was a lot of things I was doing that was gonna put me in a bad place.
Yeah.
But my wife always being around me every day, it was allowing me to not actually indulge in those things.
Yeah.
So like she was there every day when my brother died. She was there every day for me coming with my mom's crib after work. And then she got pregnant the same year that my brother died. And then my son Preston was born the year later, 3 days later of Preston, 3 days before my brother's death anniversary.
Wow.
So like now I felt like I had a purpose.
Yeah.
So now I felt like I needed to be here for something.
Yeah.
Because when my brother died, I didn't feel like I needed to be here for nothing no more. I was trying to figure out schemes and ways I could do things to, you know, just do something bad.
Yeah.
So I had to figure out like, how do I not do it?
Yeah.
And my son came in perfect timing.
Yeah.
And then my wife just like being there every day and not allowing me to go outside in the streets and stuff like that. It was just what I needed at that time.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm gonna forever be grateful for my wife. Like I was on the phone with my mom like a few weeks ago and I was like, yo mom, you think if me and Angie never got together like when I was younger, you think I would have like still had a car? Like I got cars and stuff, like I never had those things.
Yeah.
Like I bought my own car myself. Like nobody helped me. I never had a car before. I always wanted a car. But when I got with my wife, she had a car. So I'm like, yo, mom, you think if I would never got with Angie, I would have had like cars and stuff? She was like, you probably would have eventually got it, but it would have been illegally. You would have never got it working and stuff like that. And she was like, that's why I'm forever grateful for Angie and my wife's mom. She was like, you know, since you've been with her, you've been like, you go get it, but you don't go get it in the wrong way. Like you get it positively. So like I be thankful for my wife. Like everybody look at it as like, oh yeah, they young and they got married already. They don't know what they're doing, but we know exactly what we're doing.
Respectfully.
My grandparents was married 60 plus years. My grandmother and my grandfather was together since they was 15. So I always said when I want a relationship like my grandmother and my grandfather. Yeah. Even though I wasn't around for their relationship when they was younger, but I seen the love my grandfather had for my grandmother when they was older. Even though my grandmother was in a wheelchair and all of that, the love that my grandfather had for my grandmother was untouchable. Yeah. Like he made sure everything with her was straight. And then when my grandma died in 2010, my grandfather died in 2011.
Wow.
Right back to back.
Wow. Wow. So, I think the capabilities and the characteristics, like, not that things are, not that, I don't want to say we're born with it, but it's in there somewhere.
Yeah, you just need something to pull it out of you.
So, what is it inside of you that your wife helped bring out? Yeah.
It's like, so I always been like a person that I got that soft spot in me, but I always kept it tucked away because I'm from a family of 14 brothers and sisters. Yeah. Every day we're going outside and we gotta be tough. So I kept that soft spot tucked away. Yeah. Sometimes in the house, I may have been a crybaby or something. They used to send me to cry to my moms or my grandmoms to give her whatever we wanted. So it was like with my wife, you know, I got with her and it was like, she's bad. And it's like, she's someone that I can feel comfortable going outside with, and I could be like, yeah, that's my wife, right? That's my girl. Like, so now she brought out a different type of confidence in me to be a lover boy. You feel me? So like, it's not like, oh, I'm scared to say who my girl is. Nah, she's right here. So she brought out the confidence in me to just be what I wanted to be. Like, I ain't have to be the street kid no more. I could be the lover boy. I got a nice looking girl, feel me? So now I'm like, you know what? Maybe if I fall into this lifestyle, I can get people to follow suit. And then it even be times where my brother or anybody else would be hitting my line, be like, yo, bro, you gotta chill. You making us look bad. And I'd be like, oh, my girl talking about why I'm not doing something like Prince do for his girl. So like, that's, in reality, that's not what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to show everybody else, like, yo, we don't gotta be street dudes no more.
Yeah.
Like, it's not fun no more.
Yeah.
It's real now.
Yeah.
Like, we not kids. We not just running around fighting each other, cutting each other a little bit. We trying to really take each other's lives. So now, is this something that we really want to do?
Yeah.
My brother died. She was there. Somebody else from West Brain died right after. And when that kid died in West Brain, he had a shirt on with a picture of my brother on it. And my brother was dead already at the time. He got stabbed up. My best friend died the same year. So it was like a lot of deaths happening. And I even asked my friends, I'm like, yo, right when my best friend died, twin, I'm like, yo, y'all wanna keep being selfish? Because in all reality, that's what we was doing.
Yeah.
We was being selfish because there's people that really do love us. Like, we think, like, growing up, like us young, being outside in the streets and just being from the hood and being ghetto, you think nobody gonna love you.
Yeah.
So we just think like selfish. We just think selfish, like. But in reality, when we gone, if we dead or in jail, our loved ones is really missing us and it's stressing them out.
Yeah.
Like, the hurt I seen on my mom's face when my little brother died is something that is never going to be able to erase from my head. And I would never want to allow my mom to feel that pain again. And that's why another reason why me trying to live this type of lifestyle is also to not only inflect on my kids' life and make them see their dad and be like, oh, dad was cool, you feel me? But my little brothers and sisters that's left, like, that still got, they getting into the streets and stuff now.
Yeah.
So I be trying to let them see me, like, they're like, yo, when you got that car? I just got it.
Yeah.
If you do what I'm doing, you could get one too.
Yeah.
You don't gotta want to do the bad stuff that you've seen us do or that your other brothers do. We could do the good stuff and still get rewarded.
Yeah.
It was like, now I'm starting to see when you do good, you get rewarded.
Facts.
Because as a kid, when I did good, I didn't get rewarded. So now I make sure, like, I don't care if I got $1,000 left in my account. If I want some and I want to reward myself for it, I'm good. If I want to reward myself for it, I'm gonna get it.
Yeah. It's supposed to be like that. They got us packed up by large numbers, little resources. You know, they did a good job of disconnecting man and woman, and this is government. When I'm saying that all this stuff been playing way before me and you even got here. And as you learning, because you exercising and practicing in your life, only few people make it out of that. You know, I think the one thing you touched on, and Ty, he gonna watch this. Ty gonna watch this. He gonna be like, look at him repeating my points, right? But it's true. You touched on that you got people that love you, right? And what your wife did, when you say lover boy, all she did was just show you love. You was at a point in your life, who knows, you could have met somebody else, not a woman. It could have been another guy who wanted to take advantage of your pain real quick. Oh, yo, let's go do this. This sound better than let's get revenge. Let's exercise our pain on other people, right? Which, those things is natural. Like, those feelings are natural, right? Those feelings of anger.
Yeah, I went through that.
Of course. And so, you were fortunate, like I've learned in my life, to realize, like, oh, like, I got some love over here, right? And you met a person, because that's what women could do when it's right. They bring it out of you, and as long as as long as you're not out your mind with it and shit, like, excuse my language, as long as you're not out your mind with it and you keep your wits about you, you know who you are, they can help bring that out of you. And, you know, I actually said this with the last person I worked with, and Ty's told me this. We go back and forth about this, but it is the truth. Most people want love. They want that feeling of wholeness. They want to get back to that. Before all the pain and all the bad memories and struggle, they want to get back to that innocence, right? And sadly, like, we can't never really get back to that official form of before we knew things and before we understood. But what we can do is, and as cheesy as it sounds, what we can do is keep that love in our heart. You know, that's the same. You hear? Because I got love for you. You know what I mean? We've had two different upbringings, but I see you like you see me, and I see a person when I look at you. I'm like, even though in your own different ways, like, he doing what my dad did. You know what I'm saying? Might have not been in the same order, the same, but it's like at some point something clicked, and like my father realized, like, I got people that love me, and I gotta do what I have to do to, you know, make a better way. And you're fortunate because a lot of people, as you know, a lot of people don't get to that point, especially as black men. We don't, because it's between the media, between our peers. You know, there's only, how does one gauge self-worth? What if I rap all day? If I dribble a ball? If I play football? How do you gauge, how do I gauge what, you know what I mean? Like who I am, and you know, I don't have everything. I do want more than this house because I'm like, yo, my dad did this, I want to do more, right? So I don't plan to stop, but I stopped chasing things. Like I kind of told you earlier, I'm like, yo, like in here, I'm rich. So I already know if I keep going,
it's only a matter of time.
It's only a matter of time.
Like, that's funny that we bring up football and stuff, because like everybody think like, yeah, Prince got a son, he gonna put him in football. But I'm not forcing my kid to play football. If my son comes to me and be like, yo, Dad, I want to play football.
Yeah.
That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
He starts T-ball Wednesday.
Nice.
He plays soccer. Like, those are the things that he wants to do. So he has he's been introduced to football. We play catch, he line up, he throw the ball, he'll go to receiver, catch the ball. But I'm not forcing him to do it.
Yeah.
So now if he decides to come to me and say, Dad, I want to play football, then he's going to exercise his right to play. See if he likes it. I'm not going to just let him, if he decides to go into it, I'm not going to just let him say, oh, nah, I quit.
Yeah.
Because you're not quitting.
Yeah, you're not quitting, yeah.
But once we're done with that, if he don't want to do it, he don't got to do it. My son is a very smart kid. Like, he's, like, for instance, today, I picked him up from school and he had a spelling test. They do a spelling test every Friday. He had to spell 60 words. He's in kindergarten. Why is he spelling 60 words? I don't remember that.
That's amazing.
So they like, you got to spell 60 words. He got 56 right out of 60.
It's great.
It's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
So he had to spell 60 and then write 5. He got all 5 right, and he spelled 56 out of 60 words.
Yeah.
In kindergarten, I don't remember being able to spell 60 words.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if he's smart and he got all of that, if he decides to want to pick up a ball and throw a football, catch a football, or shoot a basketball, that stuff is the least of his worries.
Yeah.
Because the sport is the easy part. He got the books down pat. So if I keep him on that path, if he decides to I picked up a football in the 8th grade, and I was a magician with it. To this day, everybody be like, yo, Prince, like, you hear people talk about me with football all the time. If I would have started earlier, I would have been even better. But the fact that I picked up a football in 8th grade is going to allow me to, if my son don't want to exercise the right to want to play football till he gets in the 8th grade, that's what he's going to do.
Yeah.
I'm not forcing him to play no sports.
Yeah, don't.
Because it's way bigger than that.
Facts. And I think, like I told you off camera again, like, my dad, I wish he would have shown more interest in the things that I like, right? So maybe in another world, because I'm not mad at how things panned out, because that's my dog, and I live my life like in a lot of like, I give him a lot of reverence, like I honor him, like I try to just do the right thing, because I'm like, yo, I rock with you just as a man, like outside of being my father. But yeah, people's interests, support them. Boys need that.
Exactly.
Boys need that, especially early on. I read books, right? And when I realized, like, okay, the communication was just off between me and my dad, I got to learn how he communicates, right? My father communicates off action, right? But the father figure is meant to give confidence to the boy That's what he's there for. If your son don't need nobody to cheer for him, but if you're right there, he gonna go. The other day, it's just yesterday, my dad calls. He's like, you know, I just want to just talk to you. And this is just as I've gotten older. This is just how it's gotten, you know. And it took me going through something for him to let go a little bit and be like, you know, let me just, you know, I know this boy, like he don't respond well when people's getting at him, and that's his style.
Yeah, but let me try his. Let me try his.
So he just calls me. He's like, yeah, you know, I just want to know what's up. Like, what's the plan? Like, what you gonna do? And when I tell him my plans now, he'll say like, shoot, like, man, you just gotta work hard. That's all you gotta do. Like, no matter what, and no matter what you choose to do, he'll give me the advice, but he's more so in support. So now my mind is free. I'm just like, well, I can make my own choice. I can do anything. You know what I mean? And I know that this guy right here, he gonna like it. He gonna like, that's all I care about. Everybody could go, oh, this. I tell people all the time, yo, this man is not my dad. I don't care. Like, and respectfully, it's like and not that I don't live my life based off everything that he tells me, you know, but it's more so like if he's in support of that decision, because I know he's the one person on the planet that's always going to tell me the truth, I do it. I'm cool with it. Because I know it's going to lead me where I need to go and where I want to go. All this creative stuff, he don't know nothing about it. He hear that I'm doing it. I haven't sent him none of this stuff. It's not really his thing, right? But when the time comes, I will. And he'll look at it and be like, oh, that's good.
Yeah, it's going to be like, oh, it's dope.
Yeah. And then we're going to move on. You know what I mean? But as long as, like, because he'll be proud. And as long as I'm still pushing, we good. So, like, your son, you know, teach him everything. If you never, maybe he could decide at 15, I want to be an engineer. This is just what I'm passionate about. Or I want to do construction. I'm trying to build homes. I'm trying to, you never know, you know? And I think, just, you know, let him know that he's worth it. You know what I'm saying? Because the world, as I learned, like you learn once the sports is over, once it's like, oh, like, if I do this, am I whack? You know what I mean?
I'm born because I'm a dad.
Yeah.
I go to work every day.
Yeah.
Like, nah. It's lit.
It's lit. Yeah.
And I come home to my sons and my wife, and it's dope. Like, I always wanted to know how that felt. Yeah. Like how it felt to go to work, come home, and see your kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a dope feeling, like. And then some days where I wake up and I don't want to leave my kids. I don't want to leave my wife because I just want to chill in the crib, play the crib, mess around with them, get on their nerves. Yeah. But it's like I wouldn't trade my lifestyle right now for nothing. Yeah. So that's why when they say, "Oh, if you could go back and tell your 14-year-old self something, what would you tell him?" I wouldn't tell him nothing because whatever I got to tell him right now, it don't allow this to happen. Yeah. So why tell him something? Yeah. No, that's real, man. This is the greatest thing that happened to me. I wouldn't want to lose what I got for anything. Yeah. So why go and tell him something? And you know, just like, cause I really feel this conversation, and I gotta say, like, me even sharing with you, like, this is the greatest thing that happened to me, because I know that the guy that I did it off his back, you know, my parents used to always be like, when you doing this creative stuff off your own dime, then you can do it. You know, and now I'm using my own dime to do it, and I'm talking about them all day. You know what I mean? And I'm relaying the message because I genuinely see you, different lifestyle, different upbringing, somewhat, but it's like, when I see the next man doing those things, I'm like, yo, like, I feel my father, and I gotta let this dude know, like, yo, I see you, because I had somebody who did a lot for me, and I'm able to do right now. I don't got to clock into work right now. I'm doing what I want. You choose to.
I'm doing what I choose to, and that's because somebody else before me was doing what they had to do. You know, to just give me the options, to give me the comfort of a home. You know what I mean? When you leave, I'm gonna reflect. I mean, I'm gonna do my work, but I'm gonna reflect a little bit, and I'm like, damn. Happy as hell how I'm using this house right now. You know what I'm saying?
Because it's yours.
Because it's mine.
It's not you paying Tom because Tom, I can't make rent today. Nah, this is yours. This ain't your name. So it's like it gives you a chip on your shoulder.
Yeah, in a good way. In a good way.
In a good way.
In a good way. Make you fight a little harder.
Yeah.
Make you fight a little harder. Cause I just like, you know, when I'm talking, we mentioned Game of Thrones, like, and you know, you don't watch a show like that, but a lot of, like, you know, the sons, they go hard in their father's name. So like, even you, when you talking about your son, all my boys, when they talking about their kids, I'm like, yo, like, keep going, and talk to him. Like, don't let other people talk to him as more than you talk to him. Cause he's gonna want that. He's not gonna, maybe it might not happen right away, but you'll know the signs when it's like, okay, I gotta give him that calm push. You know what I mean? And even as for your wife, man, to hear you say that, like, keep loving her. Like, I'm because of just my life, I'm always like 50-50 with the openness in here and shit. But I'd be lying to say, like I told you off camera, like, I know the benefits of watching two people love each other and provide and, you know, just give their all to something bigger than them. My parents, you know, it's funny because sometimes I'm like, man, like I used to say, like, I wish that didn't happen. All this, they in high school, you know, so my mind was real sloppy, but as an adult now, I'm happy that I'm not bitter about that stuff because I see the direction that a lot of us take, and I'm like, yo, like, there's mad good that come out of it. And if you teach your kids to write, like, they're gonna do the same. Like, they're gonna talk about you, and they're gonna live their life, and you know, they're gonna be happy. They're gonna try to build something, and you're gonna see it happen in front of you.
Like, I wouldn't change nothing about my upbringing. Like, my mom is dope. My mom's is tough. My mom's a superwoman to me, bro. So, like, to see her, like, raise us all, like, Dolly. It's dope. But, like, I don't want my kids to have to be upbrought the way I was. You feel me? And I'm grateful for how I came up. Like, I wouldn't go back and change and put a man in my house. Nah, I'm good. Because me not having a man in my house taught me things that I needed to know when I got older at a younger age. So, like, everything that a man's supposed to know, like becoming a man when you get 18, I knew it already. Because I had to learn it a little earlier. But my mom's was tough. And I'm fine with how I came up. But my son's, like, I'm going to make sure I'm every day of the way. Like, I can't wake up and not be in the house with my sons. Like, even when me and my wife get a day away from the boys, it's like, it's cool, but I wake up and I need to talk to them. Because that's just who I am. Like, it's not gonna never change. I'm gonna forever, ever be with my sons. Like, it's nothing that could take me away from them. Like, knock on wood, if me and my wife decide to go separate ways, I just couldn't. We gotta live in the same house or something. I just can't be away from my sons. Like.
And that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. We're gonna call it.
Call it as it is.
And it's hard to call it right now because I'm just like, we can keep going forever.
We're gonna lock in.
There's
more to come.
But yo, Prince, that was fucking fire.
Appreciate you, bro.
That was honest.
Appreciate you, bro.
And I'm happy as hell that you did this. Real talk.
We're gonna lock in again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just my thoughts. I go by Marcus G. Prince Dukes. He's a legend. He's a legend. He's a legend
himself.
Appreciate y'all. Take care. That was fire, bro. That was fire. That was fire. We would have fucked around and won another 30. We would have fucked around and won another 30. We hit 50 though.